Hey, another tough weekend for the Lakers, but don't you worry, win or lose, we're covering the purple and gold from all angles. That's why you subscribe. We got a lot to talk about as the NBA trade deadline is coming up and coming up quick, so buckle up, dial it in. It's time for the Lakers Report. Welcome into this edition of the Lakers Report. I am your host, Jake Riepma, and it wasn't too long ago where we were discussing a Dejounte Murray trade, and now that we turn the calendar into 2024 and we've had a couple of weeks here in January, it seems like those conversations are heating up. There's been multiple reports that the Lakers and Hawks have once again re-engaged in those conversations centering around Dejounte Murray. So, a couple of different outlets putting out the story that the trade rumors between the Lakers and the Hawks plan to reignite this week. And with the trade deadline coming up rather quickly and the Lakers once again performing in a less than stellar fashion, it makes sense that the Lakers front office starts to build up those conversations once again because time is ticking, as they say. And another trusted voice in the NBA circle, Brian Windhorst, had this to say: keep an eye on the Nets as another possible team emerging in the Dejounte Murray conversations, but also added the Lakers and Knicks are also in the mix. So there you go. Here's from Dan Oike of the LA Times. Murray is a player who definitely has the Lakers' interest, and the Hawks certainly would ask for Austin Reaves initially in those talks. The Lakers, though, have shown no interest in trading Reaves despite some defensive regression this season. And even if they did flip him for Murray, there's real skepticism that it would, in fact, move the needle. So when you hear that, you think, okay, Austin Reaves, the Lakers don't want to trade him. And even if they do, it sounds like they're going to have to add even more into the pot for Murray. So with that said, you start to think, how can this exactly come to be? What's in that trade formula for Jeanie Buss and company, and of course Rob Pelinka, to put together and make an appealing offer for Dejounte Murray? What does that Lakers conversation look like? But let's back up a little bit, and I want to hear from you. Do you want the Lakers to even go through with a blockbuster deal to trade for Murray? Let me know in the comments. It's real simple. Type Y for yes or N for no. What say you? I want to read each and every one of those comments, so let me know down in the comment section below. Y for yes or N for no. And as we mentioned, it's going to take a lot to get to a trade for Dejounte Murray, so we will discuss what exactly that looks like and put together some proposals for you. But first, I got to give a huge shout out to today's presenting sponsor, Prize Picks, the largest independently owned daily fantasy sports platform. It's also the most exciting daily fantasy sports platform because with a couple clicks of the button, you can watch every single game with that much more intensity by playing Prize Picks. I've been showing you guys my picks all season long. Here's a couple I'm working with. How about a little more on total points, rebounds, and assists for both Anthony Davis and LeBron James? They've clearly established themselves as the statistical leaders of this team, so they're going to be called on to do quite a bit against the Thunder. And I'm picking less for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's rebound total or projected total at 6.5. So that's how it works. You simply pick more or less on a player's projected stats, and the fun begins from there. You got to go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. That's where we've got up to a $100 deposit match waiting for you. Oh, that's right. Now you're interested, huh? prizepicks.com/CLNS. Up to $100 deposit match. Another neat thing about Prize Picks, you can elect to have a power play where you got to get all three correct, or a flex play where you got to get 2 out of 3 correct. Doesn't quite pay out as much with the flex play, but either way, prizepicks.com/CLNS is where the magic happens, and we love you and we care about you. So we'll put that link right in the comments of today's video as well as the description. So there's no excuse. Get to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Now, as the reports continue to surface of Dejounte Murray being the guy that the Lakers are zoning in on and want to approach and essentially bring to Los Angeles, you start to think who you're giving up for. And in a lot of cases, you look at Austin Reaves, even though the Lakers have been pretty adamant that they don't want to trade Austin Reaves, even though a little bit of regression from him so far this season. But the Hawks, on the other hand, have made it clear that that is who they want to be a part of the equation. So when you have these two players stacked up side by side, some numbers, obviously Dejounte Murray going to have a little bit better of an edge statistically, playing not quite as much at 38 minutes per game, but I beg your pardon, at 34 minutes per game in 38 games compared to Austin Reaves playing a little bit less at 30 minutes per game. But the points, you get the edge to Dejounte Murray. Field goal percentage, pretty close, but Reaves a little bit better of a shooter, a little bit more efficient. But from the three-point line, you've seen Dejounte Murray make his living there as an excellent shooter, really close to 40%. So with that said, obviously it's going to take quite the haul to get Dejounte Murray to Los Angeles. And with it being January 15th, 2024, it's a good time to remind you that restricted free agents from the past season in 2023 are now trade eligible. So everyone on that Lakers roster, aside from Anthony Davis, is eligible to be traded. And that doesn't mean LA will trade everybody, but when putting together those mock trades, it's important to remember that nobody's off the table except Anthony Davis. So here's what I'm working with for my magic trade idea. Let me know what you think about it. The Lakers would receive Dejounte Murray, and of course, that's going to take a lot in return. I elected not to go the draft picks way and instead giving up Austin Reaves, Rui Hachimura, and of course, Max Christie. Now, I added Max Christie because there's a lot of belief that it's going to take a lot for the Hawks to be willing to part ways with Dejounte Murray. Now, let me know what you think of the trade. Let me know in the comments. Grade my trade, A, B, C, D, or F. And let me know if you like to give me an A. If you think it's the worst trade proposal you've ever seen, give me an F. Either way, I appreciate your participation. Let me know down in the comments. Now, from Chris Haynes of Bleacher Reports, the reason we added a little bit of beef to that trade proposal and added in Max Christie, although he's not necessarily a guy that's going to move the needle, but is somebody that can contribute in a meaningful way. The Hawks want more for Murray than just Austin Reaves. And when, again, these conversations are happening, you start to think about the fact that the Lakers don't want to part ways with Austin Reaves, and that it makes it a little bit more difficult in trying to find and pinpoint guys that both sides can agree upon in exchange for one another. So Max Christie, a guy out of Michigan State that hasn't necessarily, delivered in all aspects, but also is a guy that could add some value in a different place. Now, played 30 games and a little bit more than 5 points per game, 41% from the floor, 32% from the long line. And again, not necessarily a guy that's going to blow the doors off statistically, but you think about maybe he's somebody that the Hawks would want to add in for Dejounte Murray in that trade proposal. So with the Lakers being where they are now, and this is just a hunch, so bear with me here, just a belief, if you will, I think the Lakers are feeling the pressure. I mean, here we are, less than 3 weeks out from the trade deadline, and you're still hovering around that 500 record mark. And again, it wasn't pretty this past weekend. Back-to-back losses, trying to get back on track later tonight against the Oklahoma City Thunder on MLK Day, which, by the way, happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day to everybody out there. And I really do believe that the Lakers are going to have their hands forced to make a move in the trade market with the deadline coming up, because it's enough sample size of this roster. It simply has not been good enough under Darvin Ham so far. But let me know in the comments. I want you to be honest. What % chance do you give the Lakers to make a trade? I mean, I'm getting close to putting it at about 85 to 100, because I really do believe a move is coming. But what say you? Let me know down in the comments. Scale it for me, 1 through 100. If you think there's no chance, you can even put 0 there as well. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to this edition of the Lakers Report. Always a pleasure to be on the air with you and bringing you the latest around the purple and gold, the latest from Los Angeles. Shout out to our producer today, Jack Lauderay, on the ones and twos, helping us bring you the Lakers Report. And can't wait to continue bringing you all the action from around the Los Angeles Lakers. Until next time, have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching. And we'll see you next time on the Lakers Report.